NitPix. Hi guys. I haven't made a video for over 2 months. I'm sorry. I've been trying to rebuild my shattered self-esteem from all the nasty bullying I've endured from the Doctor Who community. But since my counsellor says I need a creative outlet, I'm back, I'm badder, and I'm better than ever. So this is why the Defenders is just okay. It's nothing special. Because it is just okay. Let me put this in perspective. This show was announced 4 years ago. We've had 4 individual shows, all building hype up and hinting towards an epic crossover in the same vein of Avengers. Now it's finally been released, and there's hardly a memorable moment to it. Audiences simultaneously shrugged their shoulders and went, meh. Then they went back to watching Game of Thrones. That to me is the most disappointing part of the Defenders, that after 4 years of giving us interesting ideas, characters and themes, we just end up with something bland. A cheap vanilla ice cream, and we could have had a much better flavour, because we were working with some very interesting ingredients. So, call me the Gordon Ramsay of YouTube, because I'm about to talk about how this is so undercooked, it's pissed me off. The Defenders, in a lot of ways, feels like a sequel to Iron Fist Season 1, and as a result of this, it carries over a lot of the problems that plagued Iron Fist. But unlike the Defenders, Iron Fist isn't just okay, it's actually a little bit bad. The main reason for its bit baddedness is the lack of a central, overarching theme. The other standalone shows all have social themes that drive the heroes, the villains, and the narrative in general. These are all social themes that an audience can easily connect with. Luke Cage deals with the themes of black oppression in modern America, Jessica Jones deals with the theme of consent, and Daredevil deals with the themes of the line between good and evil, and right and wrong. But what's Iron Fist's theme? Is it about finding your home? Is it about the cutthroat nature of business? Or maybe, as the show's tagline suggests, who is Danny Rand? A theme of identity. However, the only prevalent, reoccurring theme throughout all 13 episodes is that Danny Rand's gotta get the hand. But why does he gotta get the hand? And does that really qualify as a theme? No. Danny Rand has never even seen the hand. He's just been told that they're evil, and he's got to get them. All the other antagonists are personally intertwined with the heroes. They've done something to affect them directly, given them a strong moral obligation to fight them. Also, these villains aren't necessarily bad people, they're layered and have relatable motivations. Apart from Diamondback. There's no excuses for Diamondback. That man's trash. But I digress. In Iron Fist, the hands are portrayed so sloppily. They threaten and kill people because, I guess they just want to? But there's no real motivation. The writers just thought if they all wore black and made them run a seedy company, you would think they were interesting, threatening villains. But if you think that, I'm telling you, you've been punked. Look, there's Aston Kutcher. He punked you good. Everyone's laughing at you. Wait, is he wearing black? It's the hand! When watching Iron Fist, the lack of a real theme and the boring one-dimensional portrayal of the hand prevent the viewer from forming any real emotional connections with the characters and the narrative of the show. This carries on directly into the Defenders. But with the additional train wreck of Sigourney Weaver's character. After playing the greatest villain of all time in my favourite film of all time, Paul, Sigourney Weaver is back as an antagonising antagonist in The Defenders, where she plays Alexander, the leader of the Hand. Well, she's antagonising to me because she's so boring. Do something! All Alexander does is sprout exposition about the Hand and make vague references to how old she is. Okay, we get it, you've lived thousands of years, you don't have to keep mentioning it all the time, jeez. We've seen the Hand in Daredevil Season 2 and in Iron Fist. They're a big and imposing organisation that none of our heroes seem able to break. so when we finally see the leader of this dangerous group of evil ninjas, there's an expectation that she would be an efficient, sharp, manipulating mastermind. But Alexandra spends the whole season being openly criticised by other members of the Hand, having a blood disease that's killing her, popping pills like M&Ms, moping about her dead daughter. She lets Stick escape, and then the one thing she put all her trust and resources into stabs her in the back. The woman's trash, just like Diamondback. They belong in the exact same bin. I'm not saying villains can't have vulnerabilities, but when they only have vulnerabilities, they can't provide that much needed tension to the story. As the leader of the Hand, she makes all the members below her unthreatening and disorganised as an extension of her. It's a shame that the Defenders take on the Hand when they're questioning their leader and they've run out of live forever juice. The Hand are more weak and vulnerable than we've ever seen them before, and honestly, it just makes me question the whole point of this team up in the first place. This is the main strength of the show, and is the driving force for it not being a bit bad. These characters are well in their stride, the actors know what they're doing with them, and the dialogue between them is well written and enjoyable to watch. These scenes, which are the real meat of the show for me, often get cut short by the forcing in of difficult to follow fight scenes and Stick purely talking and exposition. I really wouldn't have minded sacrificing some of the overly long clunky fight scenes for more moments where all the Defenders are sitting and talking, getting to know one another, but as all 8 episodes take place over 3 days, it's difficult for them to develop those much needed friendships without it seeming forced. On top of this, Danny Rand gets kidnapped for a large part of the season, so we only see all 4 of them together 3 times. I thought this was the Defenders, not the Defend. Wait, I've got to check the math on that. If each Defender is 3 letters, an Iron Fist gets kidnapped, the S, carry over the R's, divided by each episode where they're together. At the end, Daredevil gets left on his own where he dies, so I guess he loses. She drives another car, so then we add in all of them again each time Jessica Jones leaves the group and then comes back. Carry over the letter, divide by 4, but plus... Is it even worth making this joke? No! But even when they are all together, though the rapport is good, they don't actually seem to do anything practical as a team except for fight. And we all know what the fight scenes are like. It would have been really great if each member of the Defenders added their unique abilities to the team dynamic. Daredevil has deep ties to Hell's Kitchen's criminal underground, they fear him and he can easily extract information through interrogation. Jessica Jones is a great detective and a master performer, Luke Cage is an unstoppable bulletproof tank, and Danny Rand is mega rich and could have provided some cool gadgets, vehicles, costumes, or anything. Even Rick and Morty, who are parodying superhero films, understood this concept. Granted, they do cover this a little bit. Jessica Jones seems to do more detective work in The Defenders than she has ever done in her own show, and Danny Rand uses his wealth sometimes, which is why the show is okay. But the team dynamic would be so much more engaging if this was the foundation of the show, as opposed to just a little occasional sprinkling. This is also reflected in the fight scenes, in which the 4 members can be divided between flippy kicky fighty style and punchy throwy fighty style. There doesn't seem to be much difference between Iron Fist and Daredevil, or Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. This makes the characters feel separate from each other during fight scenes, with very rare moments when the choreography has them working together in combat. This is a shame, especially when you look at the combat sequences that occur in the Avengers films, where we have the superheroes combining their various abilities. Each member stands out from the others, but as a team they have a great synchronicity that the Defenders really lacked. It makes matters worse that the hand foot soldiers, who the Defenders spend most of the time fighting, are utterly useless, and are just walking punching bags for them to, well, punch. Oh man, I'm so tense, there's like 3 of them, I wonder who's gonna win! Madame Gao is now a Jedi. Yeah. She's still not very threatening. The only imposing member of the Hand is Elektra, but then at the end, the rest of the Defenders leave Daredevil on his own to fight her, and it actually looks like he's putting up a decent fight. Well, I mean, she was probably going soft on him because she loves him. Wait, then why was she fighting him anyway? Why did she kill Sigourney Weaver? How much of the past does she actually remember? Fuck it, I'm just gonna give her her own slide. I have no idea what Elektra is doing in The Defenders. She's so confusing and also very boring. I know I'm supposed to be doing the analysis here, but I'm honestly lost for words. If you can tell me what's going through her mind, what she's thinking and feeling, what her motivations are, then you're a better person than I am. You can have NitPix, I'll give it to you, you can run it. You can read all the hateful, demeaning comments that cut straight to the soul. You can carry the heavy burden as you walk the lonely streets, hearing the cries of, "Is that NitPix?" You hide your face, hoping they don't recognize you, but it's too late. The inevitable comes. "What's your problem with the new Doctor Who showrunner, you shit?" One of them spits into your face. You crawl into a ball and cry. You weep into your hands. You weep louder and louder, but no one hears. You cry out for someone, anyone to care, to help, but no one comes. Suddenly you look up. You're no longer in the street, but at home, hunched over the comments page, reading abuse after abuse after abuse. So yeah, you can have the channel, but I tell you it's a curse. But seriously guys, Elektra starts off as a Terminator-esque killing machine, serving the hand, but then she starts to remember her past, so she sleeps in Matt Murdock's bed, because she misses him, I guess? But then she goes back and knocks out all the defenders, but she doesn't kill any of them. So maybe she is secretly on their side. Oh, but she kills Stick, the man who basically raised her, the person she probably has the closest bond with. Then she kidnaps Danny Rand, brings them back to the hand, and kills Sigourney Weaver. What? Why did you do that? Oh, so she could lead the hand and get the live forever juice for herself? But that's exactly the same as what Sigourney Weaver wanted to do. What's the point in this sudden leader change if Elektra is just going to execute the exact same plan, note for note, as Sigourney Weaver? You're weird, Elektra! Then it ends with Elektra fighting Daredevil while they embrace romantically. But at this point, their romance is as convincing as this green screen, and I honestly couldn't care less. We all knew Daredevil wasn't really dead, because who would be Daredevil in season 3? This guy? Ultimately, Marvel's Netflix The Defenders is a clean, slick, fan-friendly, inoffensive product that didn't take any risks or have anything interesting to say. It's propped up by some good performances and fun dialogue, but that's not enough to make it memorable. Gone are the complex villains who are dark reflections of our heroes. Gone are the raw, professionally executed, gritty fight scenes that made Daredevil so exceptional, and the unique tones that each of these shows brought have been sacrificed to make a bland, cookie-cutter experience that lacks its own individual identity. 6 out of 10. Maybe 5.5 out of 10. Definitely not awesome-tacular. Thanks so much for watching this video, my counselor really appreciates it. Make sure you subscribe because my next few videos are all going to be diss tracks. I've got to try and monetize on the diss tracks, so the film community for the first time is going to be hit with a lot of diss tracks. I'm going to do straight fire against Nerdwriter, Bobby Burns, and Every Frame of Painting. Also lessons from the screenplay. I'm gonna destroy you. All these other film reviewer YouTube channels, they're all bitch boys. I'm gonna destroy them with my sick beats. They're gonna have to all take the L after I hit them with my bars. In fact, I'm not even NitPix anymore. I'm DissPix. I'm gonna be doing only diss tracks.